With this video, we will be doing Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, and if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure to hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow, and the only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go! Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar hate each other.
Damn.
Well, at least one of them hates
off.
the other person, while the other has tried many times to be friendly and squash things. One rapper seemed to believe that they were actually friends, while the other looked at their relationship as a business transaction. After 2 weeks of research, it's safe to say that one MC has lost every ounce of respect for the other. You guys really liked my last video where I broke down all the subliminal disses from Drake's new album, so I decided to stick with a similar style. And in my last video, I asked you guys to hit the like button, which is something I don't usually do, but the video did really well, and I don't know if that's why, but just do me a favor and hit that like button again. Thanks. Right. So when it comes to Kendrick and Drake, they weren't always on bad terms. Back in 2011, Drake had already blown up, and Kendrick had yet to release a major debut album. Now, Kendrick was definitely buzzing, but he was far from the star that Drake was. Even back in 2009, Kendrick mentioned Drake on a track where he pretty much admits that he thinks he's better.
Man, my girl split the bucket to KFC. She listening to Drake, and all I can say, damn, these is that much better than me, baby.
So I'm eating some KFC with my girl. She would have listened to Drake. Like, dang, you listen to Drake? You ain't even listening to me. Throw my tape in there.
But I like how he said, damn, these are that much better than me.
That's
but
crazy.
then that album wasn't released for years later, but he did an album named Damn.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Classic.
Classic.
I'm so far ahead, man. Different.
So Kendrick identified really early on that the mainstream hip-hop wasn't really his thing. However, on June 16, 2011, Kendrick performed in Toronto for the very first time, and when Drake found out he was in the city, he decided to hit him up so that they could meet.
I need y'all to know, this is my first time out here, you dig?
You did.
And Kendrick would speak about meeting Drake in a XXL magazine and said, "That's a real good dude. He got a real genuine soul. We clicked immediately." And it was during that meeting that Kendrick provided Drake with a copy of his unreleased album, Section 80.
Section 80.
Visions of Martin Luther staring at me.
Kendrick said that Drake was the first person outside of his team to hear Section 80, and that Drake was blown away by the project.
Wow.
I even found a 2011 tweet where Drake posted Kendrick's lyrics from ADHD.
We never do listen unless it comes with an 808.
Drake liked Kendrick's music so much that he asked him to be on his upcoming sophomore album, Take Care. Throughout the track, Kendrick talks about meeting Drake for the first time and how he was surprised that Drake wasn't fake like most of the music business.
Hit me on the cellular, thought he was gonna sell me a false word like the rappers I know.
Kendrick outlines how Drake showed him
He hit me up. I thought he was just say some regular BS like all these rappers say. Nah, he came at me differently. When people come at you differently, it resonates a little bit more.
Yeah, it hit home.
Yeah, definitely.
a taste of what being rich and famous actually looked like.
Sat down with a few drinks located where you can't see us. A white waitress on standby when we need her.
On the track, Kendrick really battles with the idea.
She on standby. You just stand over there and we need you. We'll let you know that we need you. Your job is just to stand there until we need you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Different type of money.
Different.
Idea of becoming famous, as he's worried that it will change him for the worse.
Yeah, like, damn, this next level that I'm going to, will I get caught up in the lifestyle and would that make me or break me? And that was what the whole record was about when I did the interlude.
And I mean, even back then, we could see the difference in these two artists, where Drake is talking about the Maybachs and his lavish life, and Kendrick is worried about his mental health and his, you know, his relationships, his friendships. Is interesting because just 2 or 3 years later, the dude did get depressed from just being in the industry.
I didn't know you were suffering from depression the way you said you was on the album. Like,
yeah.
Did the industry cause that?
Not the industry, just the change.
And Drake only continues to show Kendrick more love by taking him and A$AP Rocky on his Club Paradise tour.
Fly.
This is my brother ASAP Rocky. This is my brother Kendrick Lamar.
I'm on this motherfucking Club Paradise tour, matter of fact. My nigga Drake, TDE, High Power in this.
And Drake has always claimed to have fought with management to take these guys on tour because his label had other plans.
You know, it's people I can put on here that the label wants me to put on here, but I fight for this one reason, man. Like, I fight to promote what I love. You know what I'm saying? I fight to promote the music that I truly love, so.
Drake would mention this again in 2016 on his track 4 p.m. in Calabasas.
When he told me take an R&B nigga on the road, and I told him no and drew for Kendrick and Rocky.
However, Kendrick's superstardom quickly catches up with Drake.
I told him no.
As a year later, he dropped one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, Good Kid, Mad City.
I used to be jealous of him to follow. He was the one to follow.
And Black Boy Fly is a bonus track, but to me, that's one of the most beautiful songs on that album. Absolutely amazing storytelling. And it was on that album where Drake returns the favor and gives Kendrick a feature on Poetic Justice.
I really hope you play this, cause oh girl, you test my patience.
And on the day that the album dropped, Drake even posted a tweet saying, "Congratulations to Kendrick, incredible body of work, honored to be a part of it." However, even at this point, Kendrick and Drake couldn't be more different in terms of how they approach music and life in general.
Really, money really don't make me. I'm learning that now. You know, that's not really my peace of mind, having money.
I love Electra Chung's shoulders.
You love the shoulders?
I just love her shoulders.
She's actually blushing as well. She's
no doubt about it. They're just two different guys. Next,
like definitely two different guys. It seemed like to me like Kendrick a little bit more grounded, like J. Cole, and Drake's a little bit more like he likes the money, he likes the females. So they're two different characters, more flamboyant, yeah, lifestyle, and their music, and they definitely reflect that in their music.
Yeah, it shows.
It definitely shows.
We get a bit of an inside look on how Kendrick actually sees Drake as a person when the legend himself, DMX, claims that he would love to beat Drake up.
I wish it was like maybe 7 years ago. Yeah. Well, maybe like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Where, you know, catch the elevator, beat him up.
And just a few days later, Kendrick was asked about his thoughts on DMX's rant, and he thought it was hilarious, saying that his entire tour bus nearly died of laughter.
I wonder why these niggas in the front of the bus just cracking up, like hitting walls and shit, just crying. I'm like, what you niggas talking about? They mute, they stop laughing, right? I just hear X going off on a laptop, just spazzing. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, he's going in right now.
Now remember, Drake is pretty sensitive, so if he did see that, he probably felt a way about it. So the two would work.
Yeah, from Drake personality, from what he's shown us, if he would have seen that, he definitely would have felt some type of way about that, and definitely would have felt like that was almost taking a shot at him a little bit.
That's actually like the perfect picture on screen right now for how I feel like Drake would have felt. Like, oh, you talking about me?
Yeah.
What you say over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. And I took you out on tour.
Yeah, you gonna dress that.
Worked together for the very last time on one of 2013's biggest hits, A$AP Rocky's Problem.
That was a banger.
Girl, I know you want this.
Girl, I'm Kendrick Lamar.
Well, that was it. After that, you never see these two on a track together again. In 2013, things started to get a lot more competitive between the two, because at this point, Kendrick was not just an up-and-comer, he had become that guy.
Getting a lot of accolades from your peers and the hip-hop icons.
Thank you.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
Number one on that list, Kendrick Lamar, what's up?
The hip-hop savior, it seems like.
Woo. And let's not forget, Drake is still Drake. He had a phenomenal year also.
Shout out to Hamilton. Shout out to Toronto one time. Like, the best rap album goes, and they said take care. Oh my
God! Given the success of both artists, media, and fans started to debate who was better, and Kendrick started off the year with a bang when he was awarded MTV's Hottest MC in Hip Hop.
Yeah, we went through about 15 of them, narrowed it down to 10. The 10 became 5, the 5 became 2.
and you, Kendrick Lamar, are the hottest MC in the game, according to the MTV brain.
And most of Kendrick's hip-hop friends seem to be happy for him.
I heard you're not happy about that.
Nah, I wasn't until I found out who's number one. They made my man number one, K-Dot, Kendrick, so I'm straight with that.
However, Drake was one person that certainly did not send any sort of congratulations to Kendrick.
What about your rap peers? Did they call? I know it's kind of competitive, so did they say congratulations?
A rap peers? He Cole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
And I mean, at this point, Drake's at least got to be thinking, like, this guy's starting to become a problem. He's getting a little bit close now. And Kendrick's winning streak was just beginning, as 2 months later, he cleaned up at the 2013 BET Awards.
And you know, people say people always like you when they above you. But as soon as you get even or take it off, they don't like you no more.
They don't like you no more.
I'm not saying that's the situation with this, but we know life has shown us people like looking down at you. We could be cool as long as I'm looking down at you.
Yeah.
Can't be looking even or looking up.
Yeah.
Stuff changes.
Winning the Best Male Hip-Hop Artist over Drake.
I came up in that same county building. Food stamps, welfare, Section 8.
And this time, I did find a tweet from Drake where he congratulates Kendrick on the win. Congrats to Kendrick as well. Nothing was the same. With all that said, things were about to change. August 12th, 2013 was a special moment for hip-hop. To this day, it still stands out as one of the most exciting things to happen in the last decade. On Big Sean's Control, Kendrick let everyone in hip-hop know just how competitive he was when it came to that number one spot.
When he dissed
Spring break mode is on.
When he dissed J. Cole and Drake, and I was like, he made a song dissing everybody. This is a song that he made. I was talking about.
I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is. And that goes for Jermaine, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas, trying to make sure you.
Yeah, this is a song I was telling you about. When he had Drake and J. Cole, and I was like, yo, this remind me of this song right here when he was dissing everybody in hip-hop in 2013. I was like, you heard this song? He was like, I kind of don't remember, but this is that song. This was fire when it dropped.
Core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more now, no verse from you niggas.
And we could really, really use a moment like that right now in hip-hop.
It's rain like it's Mayweather, good music, yay weather, champagne just tastes better.
And let's just give it up for Big Sean, because to me, he had one of his career best verses, but it just got overshadowed because of Kendrick's verse.
I said fuck trying and not doing, cause not doing is something a nigga not doing. I grew up the in big and pop bitch and got ruined. So until I got the same crib, big hat in that juicy vid, bitch, I can't motherfucking stop moving.
But when it came to Kendrick's verse, nobody that he mentioned had a problem with it.
K-Dot and them niggas, that's fam, yo. I think hip hop need this shit, man.
You know, I knew what it was for hip hop culture. I knew how important it was.
He said my name, like he said a couple people's name, and he said he's the best rapper. I say I'm the best rapper every song I'm on.
Yeah, but he wasn't coming at him in a disrespectful way. He's coming at him in a competitive way.
So for me, it's one of those things where I appreciate. I didn't take it necessarily as a diss. Hip hop is competitive, but I am a competitor.
Wait, sorry. Nobody had a problem except for Drake.
I just I don't know. It just wasn't real to me. It's like I saw him after that, and it was just like love. So it's like, was that real or was that just like for the people? You know what I mean?
I think it's a sparring kind of sport.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, then let it be real. Then because those were harsh words, right? So it's like, you can't just say that and then see me and be like, yeah, man, what's up? Pretending like nothing ever happened. Like, that's not real.
And this right here is a perfect.
Yeah, Drake funny as hell.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, so was that real, bro? Or was you just like,
is this just for the gram?
Yeah,
it's
you know
like,
what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
But it's like, that kind of painted him in a bad picture, because you seen what everybody else said before. I'm like, nah, we had a problem. It was good for hip hop, and he's like, nah, I ain't with that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, are you taking shots? Because if it is, like, when we see each other, there's not gonna be not dapping each other up. I'm gonna hit you with the smirk face. You're gonna hit me with it back. We gonna know that it's an issue.
We gonna know it's an issue.
But when I seen you hit me with a pound, so I'm kind of confused. But no
You
one else
know how to read it.
Everyone else know how to read it.
There, but it's levels of the people take levels of passion different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's just looking at it from a musical perspective, like, man, we was just vibing in the studio, and now it's like,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you know, then let it be real. Then, you know, I mean, because those were harsh words, right? So it's like, you can't just say that and then see me and be like,
my feelings was hurt. You hurt my feelings.
Yeah, man, what's up? Pretending like nothing ever happened. Like, that's not real.
And this right here is a
not real.
perfectly
That's
good
not
example of why people call Drake soft and emotional. You can't act this way and then sit back and wonder why people are labeling you as such. Like, this is why. And it's interesting because when Drake came into the game, he seemed to understand that competition came with the genre.
It's a great thing, though, to be competitive with those guys because you're always pushing yourself. I mean,
and look, Drake was not a rapper that you could just push around. He did go toe-to-toe with people before. Back in the day, a Toronto rapper by the name of Aristo seriously tried to end Drake's career, and it didn't end well for this guy.
And it's the room of resolution, I'm finishing it in here. If I copy Button's flow, you mimicking his career.
It was good riddance, it was lights out, it was a body, and that's what it was, man. And that's why good riddance, and what happened? Good riddance, right? Bye.
I remember when this dropped because it was all over the hip-hop blogs in Canada. And yeah, we did have hip-hop blogs in Canada in 2009. They did exist. With all that said, Drake dropped Nothing Was the Same, and we get to hear the first subliminal shot for Kendrick. On the track titled The Language, Drake immediately starts out with a shot.
I don't know why they been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.
So when Kendrick's Control verse dropped,
I don't know why they been lying. Your stuff, it's not that inspiring. That's a shot.
Yeah. Why they been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.
So when Kendrick's Control verse dropped, Drake stated on multiple occasions that he did not find the verse impressive, that he thought it was for shock value, and that it would soon be forgotten.
But it was real cool for, like, you know, a couple weeks. But, like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
One of Drake's more notable claims was that Kendrick had a great first album, but he questioned whether...
That's when you really try and play somebody. You know, we be trying to, when you be talking to somebody and they be like, that song was hot. It's like, yo, give me a bar from that song. And they be like, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
That's kind of like the same situation he did with that.
Notable claims was that Kendrick had a great first album, but he questioned whether or not he could do it again.
And as far as Kendrick goes, like, I can't wait to see what he does because now it's time to show and prove. And consistency it's been one album. Consistency is like you need more than one album, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's time to show and prove it.
Drake claimed that he was all about putting out memorable bodies of work as opposed to creating moments.
When it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency. I'm more worried about bodies of work.
However, Drake continues to send some more shots.
Any nigga that's talking that shit just to get a reaction.
Again, Drake refers to
You're talking that ish just to get a reaction, but when I see you giving me doubts, is it really real? It's crazy.
That's why he was in his thoughts. He was trying to figure it out.
It's crazy.
Any nigga that's talking that shit just to get a reaction.
Again, Drake refers to Kendrick as someone that wrote the Control verse to get attention.
I am the kid with the motor mouth. I am the one you should worry about.
A motor mouth is defined as a person who talks quickly and continuously, often without considering what they're saying. In this case, someone that raps fast. Is clearly about Kendrick.
Talking that shit with your back to me, just know it always get back to me.
So outside of the DMX comment, there were some other interviews where Kendrick had laughed at Drake's expense.
I heard about you touring with Drake. I was like, that's dope, that's dope. And I was like, well, I hope he doesn't hang with Drake too hard because Drake isn't exactly doing what we thought he would, what many of nerdy backpackers like myself thought he might be doing a few years ago.
And honestly, man, at this point, I would not be one bit surprised if Kendrick said something behind Drake's back and it got back to him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. At the 2013 BET Hip Hop Awards, Kendrick decided to throw some gas on the fire. He went into the awards with the most nominations at 14, and Drake was a very close second with 13. However, Kendrick would be the man to come out on top winning Lyricist of the Year, MVP of the Year, Album of the Year, and Feature of the Year. Drake also came out with a handful of awards for Best Hip Hop Video, Track of the Year, and People's Champ. However, it would be Kendrick again that stole the show.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sense of the rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you, high five. I'm bulletproof, your shots are never penetrate. Pin a tail on a donkey, boy, you benefit.
So, pretty
Pin a tail on a donkey, benefit. I gotta run that back.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sense of the rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you, high five. I'm bulletproof, your shots will never penetrate. Pin a tail on a donkey, boy, you benefit.
So, pretty self-explanatory. Kendrick uses Drake's album titled Nothing Was the Same to call him out for being sensitive regarding the Control verse. And this whole thing got a lot of people excited, and just the very next day, Sway asked Kendrick if the bars were meant for Drake.
Was people want to know, was that directed towards Drake or anybody in particular?
That was just us having fun as usual.
But Drake did not seem to think so, and just a few weeks later, he came with some more subliminal shots on a future track titled Shit. And that's the name of the song, Shit. But I always liked this.
More subliminals. So it made sense when Kendrick dropped that verse like that. When he said, I don't do subliminals. F the big three. It's just big me.
Just big me. Yeah, he put this build up together.
Yeah.
This is definitely, because it took me back in time a little bit. I was like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, so now he keeps saying subliminal, and I'm like, now that bar even make more sense now.
Yeah, even more sense.
It's record.
It's crazy.
Good.
After big three, it's just big me.
Took niggas out the hood like I'm from there. So you know it's all good when I come there. I hear you talk about your city like you run there. Then I brought my tour to your city. You my son there, nigga.
And to me, this is one of the best subliminal shots of the whole saga. Like, Drake sounds like Jay-Z here. It's a very Hove-like thing to say where he's just completely sonning Kendrick. So it's been known that Kendrick puts on heavy for the West Coast, claiming that he's the king. But Drake refers to him as his son because Kendrick went on his first big tour with Drake, and of course they had some shows in California. At the time, even Kendrick admitted that he was not used to these large crowds.
The transition of me doing the 2,000 venues I've been doing back then is a little sketchy for me doing this 10,000. I gotta really work magic.
I even found a Kendrick tweet from...
Yeah, because 2,000 a little bit more... it's packed in. It's a little bit more emotional. Yeah, a little bit more. You can touch your crowd a little bit more.
Yeah, the energy's gonna be direct.
Yeah, but now it's people everywhere. You got to work the whole thing. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, you gotta get your vibe off.
Definitely.
Real talk.
From 2012, when he was on tour with Drake, where he says, "Finally home, LA, Club Paradise. Let's see what happens tonight."
And if a nigga say my name, he the hot shit. But if I say that nigga name, he still the hot shit. Up, lucky I don't fit into the gossip.
So this one clearly a reference to Kendrick's Control verse. A lot of MCs responded to Kendrick with a verse of their own. And Drake is basically claiming that given the fact that he's a bigger artist, if he says Kendrick's name, he's just doing him a favor. And this next one's not even a diss. I just want to show you guys my favorite line from the song.
And niggas ain't got a grill, still ice grill hating. I know you already know Mike Will made it. Just looking at the numbers, nigga, I feel amazing. I'll call Michael Jordan up and Mike Will make it. I'm the young rap.
You know, he just signed a deal with
the producer. Mike Will made it. If I need a sneak, I'll just call up Jordan and Mike will make it. That's a bar. I'm glad he put that in there.
Amazing, I'll call Michael Jordan up and Mike Will make it. I'm the young rap.
You know, he just signed a deal with Jordan. Mike Will made the beat. Shit's fire. Come on. However, just a few days later, an issue of Vibe magazine was released, and Drake talks about Kendrick again, stating how he didn't like how the Control verse messed with the rollout of his album. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling, so my album rollout became about this thing. Drake then continues to position himself as someone that is above anything that Kendrick has to say. He's hungry, so he's going to do what he has to do, like the BET cypher, but again, it's not enough for me to go. I have to realize I'm being baited, and I'm not gonna fall. Jordan doesn't have to play pickup to prove that he can play ball. No offense. Now, at this point in the story, we're about
just keep sunning them like that's my young boy. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
that's how
Like,
it's coming
He
off.
trying to bait me. It's almost like you remember Rocky when the white guy kept trying to bait him to fight him.
Yeah.
And then he just fought him at the end.
Tommy Gun.
Yeah, Tommy Guns.
Yeah,
like,
I know
that's what
exactly.
you trying to Tommy Guns him, trying to bait me to come outside. You know what I'm saying? Rocky wasn't going for it at this point. Drake
At
was
this
trying.
point, you had to take it to the streets.
Yeah.
Catch one of them kneecaps.
to witness one of the biggest upsets in Grammy history. At the 56th Annual Grammy Awards, Kendrick lost the Hip Hop Album of the Year to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and rightfully so. People were outraged.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
All you gotta do is look at Pharrell's face, because it says it all. He's just trying to get off the stage as quickly as possible, like, why? Why did they get me to do this? And Macklemore, feeling the heat, decided to text Kendrick afterwards and say that he felt he should have won and that he got robbed. And it would have been a nice gesture if he didn't take a screenshot of the text and post it on social media for everyone to see. And just a month later, Drake gave his...
What did I say? You got robbed?
You got robbed.
robbed. And it would have been a nice gesture if he didn't take a screen...
You got robbed.
You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was going to say that during the speech, and then the music started playing during my speech, and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love.
Oh, and Macklemore posted that to his. He
sent it
I
to
thought Kendrick did.
It looked like he sent it to Kendrick, but then he took a screenshot.
Yeah, that's dope.
Screenshot of the text and post it on social media for everyone to see. And just a month later, Drake gave his 2 cents in a Rolling Stone interview. You won. Why are you posting your text message? Just chill. Take your W, and if you feel like you didn't deserve it, go get better, make better music. It felt cheap. It didn't feel genuine. Why do that? Why feel guilt? You think those guys would pay homage to you if they won? To name just Kendrick? That shit made me feel funny. No, in that case, you robbed everybody. We all need text messages.
Damn.
Kendrick wasn't the only name that was up there. You robbed all of us. We all got robbed by you.
Yeah.
So that's hilarious.
You guys tell me, does Drake seem like he's defending Kendrick in this article? Or does it seem like he's salty because he's not in the mix? At this point, the feud dies down for about 8 months, and Drake even had some very kind words for Kendrick at his OVO Fest when he brought out J. Cole.
And while you all got your phones out, I want to shout out my nigga Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Kendrick. Kendrick was on my album. We went on tour together. That's one of the hardest niggas alive right there. He's legendary, so shout out to him. He should be standing right there.
However, it looks like Kendrick did not get the message, as just 2 months later, he responds to Drake's Motormouth line on a J-Rock track titled Pay For It.
I tell him all of hell, King Kendrick, resurrecting my vengeance, been dissecting your motor mouth till I break down the engine.
Clearly a response.
That was hard. I never heard that, but that beat is tough. I like this beat.
J-Rock track titled Pay For It.
I tell him all of hell, King Kendrick, resurrecting my vengeance, been dissecting your motor mouth till I break down the engine.
Clearly a response to Drake's Subliminal on the language. Again, Kendrick inserts himself as the king, and he doesn't seem to think that Drake can go to distance with him. And it will be just 2 weeks later where Kendrick gets asked about this alleged diss.
You know, a lot of rumors are with the Drake thing. Like, you know, did you really bring the Drake thing back with the J-Rock single, or what's that about?
What? I ain't hear about
the Drake feud. Or
look
at him going. Damn, man, you're disgusting.
I think that's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far.
Once again, we're all reaching, and it's not about Drake. And just a few days later, Kendrick would get asked about his now year-old Control verse, and this time he said that all the people that mattered understood it, and for the people who didn't, they don't matter.
The people that respected, was people that knew the deal.
Yeah.
What's the important people that respected and knew what it was, and people that don't respect it, obviously, they just people that don't get it, and really didn't matter.
And again, Kendrick claims that the chances of seeing him and Drake go head-to-head is slim to none because they're two different artists.
It's just a whole nother dynamic. I can't see myself going bar for bar with Drake. We're two different type of artists. You dig what I'm saying?
You would eat Drake.
I've argued that. And I honestly feel like
Dang, there goes Charlamagne throwing gasoline on a fire.
On fire.
Man, you'll eat Drake. You know what I mean? It's a game like a...
Two different type of artists. You dig what I'm
You would
saying?
eat Drake. I've argued that. And I honestly feel like this is just Kendrick downplaying Drake as not being on his level. I don't think he respects Drake. I don't think he really ever respected Drake. And there's some underlying meaning behind this when he keeps saying it.
Would Drake be somebody you would like to have some fun with?
Nah, I couldn't. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that playing out, you know, as entertaining. Maybe to, you know, the people listening, you know, but not for myself.
Keep in mind, Kendrick was classified as the savior of hip-hop. He was embraced by everyone just for the art, whereas someone like Drake really had to go to distance to prove himself, and even then, he could never win over the fans that admired a certain level of lyricism. Many consider Drake to be a pop star, and I feel like Kendrick is saying this without really saying it.
Here at Papa John's, we know our
Yo,
stuff.
you're a rapper,
So
you don't
try
want
our
that title,
garlic
pop
epic
star.
stuffed crust
Like,
pizza.
That's
Made
not
with
the
our
title you
iconic.
want.
Just hold on, we're going home.
However, next Drake drops
Just
his
hold on,
surprise
we
mixtape.
gone.
If you're reading this, it's too late. And on that project, he had some more shots for Kendrick.
They gon' say your name on them airwaves. They gon' hit you up right after like it's only rap.
So Drake had claimed previously that he saw Kendrick just 5 days after the Control verse, and it was all love.
I know that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love.
And at this time, Drake was a top.
Drake acting like he said in that verse, "When I see you, I'ma smack you."
Then
he was keeping everything rap. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't threatening to cause harm to you, nothing like that.
I almost feel like Drake felt like their musical connection took him out of the line of fire.
Yeah. He said, nah.
And when he got blasted on, he was like, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
that makes sense.
Talk of the town because this surprise project made a big splash. So just a few weeks later, Kendrick decided to shake things up and finally dropped his long-awaited album by surprise as well.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be...
Naturally, fans and the media pitted the two albums against each other. Kendrick, bruh, how do you let Drake drop a mixtape that goes harder than your album? A freaking mixtape. Not gonna compare Drake and Kendrick anymore because they're not even playing the same sport right now. Kendrick is in his own league. And comparing these projects makes zero sense. It's apples to oranges. Drake's project was great for club DJs, gym playlist, cruising in the car, whereas Kendrick's album touched on real-world issues, was chanted during protest, and is looked at today as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. However, Drake wasn't done as he let another one go on the Game's track 100.
I would have all of your fans if I didn't go poppin'. I stayed on some conscious shit.
Again, Kendrick had just released To Pimp a Butterfly.
I would have all your fans if I didn't go pop and I stayed on his conscious. But you can't get mad at people call you a pop artist. You said it yourself.
Yeah.
His most conscious album to date, and Drake is basically saying that he could do that style if he wanted, but he's on a different mission with his music. Also important to note, the video for this track was filmed in Compton. So Drake is saying all this while in Kendrick City.
I'm in the club every time that they play the competition. If they even play the competition, then I seen the response they get.
Now, the Game was asked about this, and he didn't seem to think it was a shot at Kendrick, but he also didn't count it out.
Drake was taking subliminals at Kendrick on that song, and Kendrick caught it and wanted to return something. I think that would be great for hip-hop.
However, one of the worst things to be exposed for as a rapper was about to happen to Drake.
Ghostwriting.
On July 22nd, 2015, Meek Mill took to Twitter to expose Drake for having ghostwriting.
Trigger fingers turning and Twitter fingers.
Real quick.
10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, man.
I can remember having a conversation with my little brother on the phone, and we were both saying, like, there's no way. There's no way that Drake has ghostwriters because he's too good of a writer himself. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what we all thought.
But boy, were we wrong.
Okay, 10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, man.
Did you hear the reference tracks? Line for line. Word for word. This is bad.
Bar for bar.
No, it's a terrible time to be a Drake fan. Shortly after Meek's tweets, the reference tracks would leak to support the ghostwriter allegations, and now we get back to Kendrick, who just a few months earlier made reference to rappers with ghostwriters on his single King Kunta.
But a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened? I swore I went down.
So basically, Kendrick found out about this ghostwriting shit months before we did, and months before it even got exposed. And Kendrick is basically saying, like, I know what you've been up to, buddy. I'm not going to say anything, but I know.
I know.
With all that said, as everyone knows, Drake responded to Meek Mill with a now legendary diss record, Back to Back.
Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa.
And being a day one Drake fan, for me personally, I was never more proud of Drake in his whole entire career than when he dropped Back to Back.
The new record, Back to Back, tough tune. Tough tune.
But once again, Kendrick responds to Drake just 1 month later on Dr. Dre's Compton album.
But still I got enemies giving me energy, I wanna fight now. Subliminal sending me all of this hate, I thought I was holding the mic down.
In this one, Kendrick references Drake's recent track, Enemies.
Got enemies, got a lot of enemies.
Kendrick is once again talking about how Drake keeps going the subliminal route, which at the end of the day is really no different from what he's doing, but he didn't stop there as he did it again on another song from the same album.
They liable to bury him, they nominated 6 to carry him. The beef is on his breath, inheriting the drama better than the great white. If this is life in my aquarium.
The words "they nominated 6 to carry him" could potentially be a Drake reference, given the fact that Toronto is referred to as the 6. And if this is the case, Kendrick is basically saying that everyone seems to think that Drake is his greatest opponent, but that he's a great white and that this is his aquarium, aka he's the king of hip hop.
And you ever look back on any and feel like you'd like to change any of the things that you've written, or
it'll be me saying I want to go deeper. I should have went deeper.
I see.
You know, I shouldn't have held back.
And at this point, Kendrick finally gets his well-deserved moment at the Grammys, winning.
I mean, I had to talk myself out of really going in like I wanted to. I had to pull myself back, put me straight on myself.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Dang, why'd I do that? I should have really went in it like I wanted to."
5 awards, but more importantly, he finally clinched the Best Rap Album category with To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, glory to God, that's for sure.
Facts.
Drake also racked up a bunch of accolades in 2015. If you're reading this, it's too late. Broke Spotify's record for 17.3 million streams in its first week. Hotline Bling had dominated the charts, and his collaborative album with Future.
What makes that? We don't dance like these fruitcakes. Hotline Bling won't get no play in this new Wraith or something like that.
Something like that. I remember what you're talking about.
Hotline Bling had dominated the charts, and his collaborative album with Future also did crazy numbers.
Arcade is like an idea generating plugin that will present you with new sounds
that was like his pinnacle.
Very cool, I would say.
And I mean, even at this point, anything Drake touches is going to do numbers.
Yeah.
Next, we get some inside information that this situation between Drake and Kendrick could have got really ugly. Former NFL player turned commentator Marcellus Wiley wouldn't say any names, but said that years earlier he interviewed one of the two rappers and it completely went off on the other.
The Drake-Kendrick beef, when it was really starting to brew. Yeah. I was on Sports Nation at the time, and we taped an interview with one of the people, and that one person went in on the other person. And we were ready to let this go, but then that one person's team made sure that didn't get out.
Marcellus was quoted in a DJ Vlad interview as saying that the person went so hard in this interview that it could have brought the beef to the heights of 50 Cent and Ja Rule. And you gotta keep in mind, Marcellus is trying to sell a book, and he claimed that in this book, he would expose everything that was said and who said it. And I bought the book. I spent the $13.99. I didn't read it. I searched it.
What was he talking about?
And here's what he had to say. We even got Drake on tape talking major shit about Kendrick during an interview. Of course, after watching the interview, Drake's publicist wouldn't let us air that tape, but we still got it. Take my word for it. So that's it. That is the big expose.
Take my word
I
for
too was cheated, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray by
Nah, you got what he said. You was to find out who he was talking about.
Yeah,
you found out who he was talking about. And he says a tape that exists. You for $13, you got your money's worth.
You got your money's worth.
Tell us why.
But
now, we need to take any self-promotion tactics with a grain of salt, but the date surrounding this thing is very interesting. Kendrick drops the Control verse on August 12, 2013. In a Hot 97 interview on September 24th, Drake was very bitter, and the very next day, September 25th, Drake appears on ESPN. Wow. And you guys could tell me what you think, but to me, I believe this story. I believe that Drake did this, 100%.
I personally enjoy making like great music and bodies of work over like being the talk of Twitter for like 5 days, you know.
However, in 2016, one man
keep trying to hit him with that, like, you know, I'd rather have this longevity instead of just this moment in time.
Buzz.
I don't want that moment in time. I want the whole year. I don't want 5 days.
It's so crazy how dismissive he's been
like,
this whole time. Like, it's just Kendrick again, and he's just dropping.
And he just taking it from, I took you out on tour, so you're always gonna be my young boy.
In his mind, he just never has went past that moment.
Yeah,
like, you on tour with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was opening up for me. You always gonna be my young boy. No matter what you do, you always gonna be my young boy. It's just like Daniel's son is always gonna be Miss Miyagi young boy. I taught you everything. You always gonna be my young boy no matter what. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's sort of his approach.
Dominated the charts, and that was Drake, smashing record after record, pumping out hit after hit. Views sold 1 million in its first week and went on to become quadruple platinum that year. He had several #1 records such as Work with Rihanna, For Free with DJ Khaled, and One Dance with WizKid. One Dance actually became Spotify's most streamed song ever, and Spotify also announced that Drake was the most streamed artist of 2016. Basically, in 2016, Drake just dominated. And
just think if he owned his music during that time. Like, all that went to the label. Records is good and all that, but it's good when it's like coming your way.
Yeah.
Like, all that money's going straight to the label.
Yeah, it's even better when it's just you're eating.
Speaking of For Free by DJ Khaled, Drake actually mentioned Kendrick on that song.
Like your boy from Compton said, you know this dick ain't free.
Again, this appears to be more of a friendly nod to Kendrick, where Drake is referencing his song, which is also called For Free.
This dick ain't free.
However, 2017 was about to start, and Kendrick was about to take some of the most direct shots at Drake to date.
Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, you lame. And when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you was just playing.
What's most interesting about this track in particular is the timing of when Kendrick put it out. Drake had just dropped his project More Life, which was mostly a happy-go-lucky summer vibe that contained no shots at Kendrick whatsoever. And just a few days later, Kendrick drops this surprise, aggressive 116-bar track that is full of shots at Drake.
Yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died.
It's no secret that Drake has claimed to be somewhere on this top 5 list, but more recently on More Life, he claimed that he was #1 on that list.
I know I said top 5, but I'm top 2, and I'm not 2, and I got 1. Thought you had 1, but it's not 1, nigga, nah.
So let me get this straight. Kendrick here.
I'm not top 5. I'm top 2, and I'm not 2. That was hard.
Yeah, that was hard.
For 1 on that list.
I know I said top 5, but I'm top 2, and I'm not 2, and I got 1. Thought you had 1, but it's not 1, nigga, nah.
So let me get this straight. Kendrick here.
You thought you had 1, but it's not 1. Nah. That was hard.
This track, gets the pen out, jumps in the booth, and sends a clear message just a few days after Drake drops that he's the best rapper alive.
Ho Jay-Z, Hall of Fame, sit your punk ass down.
Drake's been known to draw comparisons between himself and Hove, so it only makes sense that this shot was directed at Drake.
Yeah, he did do that.
We can just start talking. He gets 6 feet tall real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay.
Lastly, Kendrick ends off the track to surprise fans and warn Drake that he's got a new album coming in a few weeks.
That's the album you're talking about there.
You know what time it is, Annie up, this is him forever. Y'all got till April the 7th to get your shit together.
Kendrick was really strategic in releasing this track, as it took most of the attention off Drake's project. And to add insult to injury, his fans flocked to Drake's Instagram account and spammed the number 4 in Roman numerals. And Kendrick, true to his word, he drops the album, and he has some more shots for Drake.
Niggas wanna flex on me and be in LA for free, huh? Next time they hit the 10 freeway, we need receipt, huh?
Kendrick references Drake's track For Free, and although Drake is from Toronto, he's lived in Calabasas since 2012. With that said, Kendrick is more than likely talking about how Drake was in Compton while shooting the video for 100. Kendrick is from Compton, probably didn't like it.
Most of y'all throw rocks and try to hide your hand. Just say his name and I promise that you'll see Candyman.
At this point, Kendrick
Say
is
his
begging
name.
Drake to
Say it
just
like
call him out.
Candyman.
He makes a reference to a popular 90s movie, Candyman, where the premise of that movie is
Say his
if
name
you
3
say
times.
Candyman's name 5 times,
Oh, it's 5 times?
he'll come kill you. Kendrick is basically saying, if you say my
classic.
name, your career is dead. And I think Kendrick has something on Drake. Something scathing, something that Drake doesn't want to see exposed. We've already seen Drake a couple times now try to dead this thing. There's more coming. But yeah, Kendrick keeps going. And Kendrick seemingly mocks Drake's style of music on his song God.
You feel some type of way, then
There's nobody gonna tell me that he's not mocking Drake here, because Kendrick doesn't usually sound like this. This is Drake.
I'm about to glow.
Next, we hear Kendrick on Future's smash hit Mask Off, and this one is a very direct response to one of Drake's shots.
Plan 'em. Gotta look at self and ask what happened. How y'all let a conscious nigga go commercial while only making conscious albums?
Very clearly a response to Drake's claims on 100, when he claimed that he could take all of Kendrick's fans if he were to pursue the conscious hip-hop lane.
And I stayed on some conscious shit.
But Kendrick had proven time and time again that he could have commercial success and be conscious at the same time. At this point, he had 3 cohesive projects under his belt, all of which were extremely successful.
I'm African American. I'm African. I'm black as the moon. Heritage of a small village, part of my residence.
Kendrick had also proved that he could.
He did what Nas was trying to do, and that's go conscious and still have the impact that you wanted your music to have. Because the more Nas went conscious, to me, he was losing some of his luster. But with Kendrick, he stayed the same way, and he still got it even to this day. And he came out, what, like you said, like 13 years ago?
Yeah, it almost feels like a visibility thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hearing your Nas example.
Yeah.
Like, I'm following with you. And I feel the same way. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, you don't see a lot of artists. Well, you don't see any artists.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't.
Yeah.
Take that approach and have
Yeah.
that level of success.
Yeah, he's the only one. Next will be probably Nas, right?
I would have to say.
Yeah, Nas.
Easily navigate the pop music lane, having massively successful features with artists like Taylor Swift.
We was OG like DOC, remember that.
He bodied this verse.
And again, when you listen to that track, he's not compromising his sound. Like he's still rapping. It's all bars. Now, I'm sure none of you forgot about Drake's Ghostwriter claims, and Kendrick didn't forget either.
Definitely didn't forget.
In an interview with Rolling Stone, Kendrick gave his 2 cents on the situation. It depends what arena you're putting yourself in. I called myself the best rapper. I cannot call myself the best rapper if I have a ghostwriter.
Facts.
If you're saying you're a different type of artist and you don't really care about the art form of being the best rapper, then so be it. Make great music, but the title, it won't be there. And no matter how you
I agree with him.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You can't call yourself the best rapper if you're not writing in your raps. You feel what I'm saying? That doesn't... How do you do that?
You're a hell of a performer.
Yeah, you're an entertainer at that point. You're a great entertainer.
Yeah, because he's talking about taking his thoughts and putting them out there.
Yeah, in this rap thing, this culture, you could never be considered the best if someone else is writing your music. They would be considered the best.
Yeah.
Because they're the one that's writing the music for you. They're better than you because they're writing your music.
They're writing your music.
So how could you be the best?
Slice it, the dude is not wrong. To be the best rapper, you need to write your bars. Facts. I would be lying if I said that when I found out that Drake had ghostwriters that I didn't look at his music differently.
Yeah,
I still listen to his music, but even now, when he says something dope, I got this little voice in the back of my head that says, yeah, it's dope, but did he write it? Yeah. However, Drake attempts to...
Yeah, and it's like crazy. When I found out like some of my favorite artists at that time had ghostwriter, because at this time, two of my favorite artists was Drake and Kanye West, and then I found out they both, because I was just, at one time comparing like who's better, Kanye West or Drake. You remember you had that point where you comparing Kanye West and Drake, and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, both of y'all got ghostwriters, so it don't even, at this point, it's like who got better ghostwriters. Yeah, it's not who's the better rapper. It's like who got the better ghostwriters and rappers.
Because what you're looking at is the end result.
Yeah, facts.
Keep it friendly again by tipping his hat to Kendrick when Damn outsold More Life by over 100,000 copies. Amazing to see our music moving.
Dang.
A fan had also...
Kendrick outsold Drake with a conscious album?
Yeah.
That's wow. I don't even think that was talked about enough. I never even heard that until now.
Kendrick, man, that album.
That's wow.
That damn album, man, it sat there for years.
That's crazy.
100,000 copies. Amazing to see our music moving. A fan had also commented, "Get Drake, Kendrick."
And shouts out to this guy that made this. He brought all the receipts. He could tell he did his homework and he get in detail. This is definitely a great timeline. It fills everything, and I'm appreciating this.
I appreciate it even more because the crazy thing is, like, I was listening to both these artists. I knew they exchanged a couple shots, right? But like, there were some of these verses in here from both of them that I was definitely bumping hard. But I didn't know that they were still exchanging shots.
Yeah.
Like with it put in the timeline the way it is, it's like, damn, y'all been busting off at each other for a minute.
Last 13 years. It's crazy.
Drake and J. Cole on the same record, and Drake liked the comment. Now, I hope at this point you guys can see the theme of Drake trying to squash it. And Kendrick seemingly responds to Drake's praise on his track All the Stars with SZA.
Black Panther.
Yeah, but there's some people that won't let you wave the white flag. Like, I feel like you went past the line and you could try whatever. Like, you could try to be cool. I don't want to be cool. We're already past that in my eyes.
Way past that point.
I feel like if we do anything else, it would be fake. We've already talked that ish. We know you. I know how you feel about me. You know how I feel about you, and we trying to be around each other. It would just be fake.
Right.
I'm not trying to do the fakeness.
Right. We at this point we just need to be cordial.
Yeah.
Drake's praise on his track All the Stars with SZA.
Fuck you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations.
Kendrick is not trying to hear it. Just save the bullshit.
Oh, you important. You the moral to the story. You endorsing mother. I don't even like you.
I don't even like you, bro. At all. Like, which is true. However, on the exact same day, Drake drops a track with some of his most obvious shots to date, Diplomatic Immunity.
They try to compare us, but like a job straight out of high school, there's no you and I. I taught you everything you know, now you got student pride.
Drake does not like the Kendrick comparisons, and he brings it...
He always sunning them. I taught you everything you know. He gonna always sun them every chance he get.
That's the greatest shot he got.
Yeah.
Like a job straight out of high school, there's no you and I. I taught you everything you know, now you got student pride.
Drake does not like the Kendrick comparisons, and he brings it back to when he helped Kendrick with his career early on.
Facts.
What makes this clearly about Kendrick is the No You and I line, which were both tracks from Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly.
And I love myself. The world is against me.
The two would then go head-to-head at the 2018 Billboard Awards. Many question who would be crowned as Rapper of the Year, and once again, Kendrick came out drastically ahead.
Drastically ahead. Every time they get ahead, it's not even close.
Not your future, not your comfort, not your rep, not your glory, not your heaven, not your angel.
And yet again, Drake attempts to be friendly by sharing some old Twitter DMs between himself and Kendrick. Yo, my man, what's the word? Finishing my project, Section 80. When you back in Cali? I know that shit'll be incredible. We got to do something for real. I'll be back for BET Awards this month. And this could be one of two things, really. Like, Drake could be saying, look, man, we used to be cool.
We
like,
should
remember?
be homies.
Can we get back
Let's
to
go
that?
back to this.
Or
Yeah,
he
let's
could
go
be
back
just
to that.
throwing this back in Kendrick's face again, that he's the one that gave him a start and, like, I put you on, remember? Regardless of the reasoning.
No, I took that as a trying to wave the white flag. Yo, this one used to be cool. Because we know, like, a lot of Drake beefs he settled. Like, him and Meek Mill, even after back-to-back, we know him and Meek Mill was cool, and that's been squashed. So, and we know he squashed Chris Brown. So, Drake been really on some trying to squash all the beefs. If you think about beefs Drake got right now, besides this, he doesn't have any.
Yeah, Drake pretty much say what he gotta say and then want to be done with it.
Yeah, facts.
But he ain't like it because it seemed like every time he said what he had to say, he would get smacked. And then he would wave a flag because the count's up to 4 right now off of his count.
Oh, 4? That's what we up to?
We up to 4 right now.
Drake still had another subliminal for Kendrick on Sandra's Rose.
Bury me and I'll be born again.
Right.
I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men.
Again, Drake makes reference to...
Wow, that was another track.
Walk in God's form, Mortal Man. Oh, what? Kendrick got
another Kendrick track.
You know all Kendrick tracks, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men.
Again, Drake makes reference to another track from To Pimp a Butterfly with the words Mortal Men. In this one, Drake continues to insert himself as being a caliber above Kendrick.
But I don't know. I'm no mortal man.
And Drake ends off the year with even more compliments for Kendrick in a Rap Radar interview.
I have a lot of respect for, the other two guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it.
However, things go quiet in 2020. Keep in mind, Kendrick wasn't releasing any music, and fans started to question if the feud was over.
I don't think that the Drake-Kendrick tension is dead. I think that last decade, they fought as long as they could fought, and the decade ended without us having a decisive winner. And I don't think either of them...
Well, I'm like, it didn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
The grammar was off, right?
As long as they can fight.
Yeah.
He said they fought as long as they can fight.
Yeah, I'm like, we was thinking the same thing. I'm like, that don't sound right.
I couldn't let it slide. I couldn't.
Tension is dead. I think that last decade, they fought as long as they could fought, and the decade ended without us having a decisive winner. And I don't think either of them have gotten off of that.
And people call Joe crazy all the time, but Joe Budden is right about a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He is.
Facts.
And while Kendrick has
Mad
gone
scientist.
ghost, nowhere to be found, Drake completely dominated the music business. I'm talking about Oprah's Bank Account, Tootsie Slide, Nonstop, In My Feelings, God's Plan, Nice for What, Pop Star, Life is Good, Chicago Freestyle, Laugh Now, Cry Later. This is just undeniable. Like, there's no other artist on earth who is doing this except for Drake. However, in 2021, the boogeyman himself, Kendrick Lamar, rises from the dead and has some shots for Drake on Family Ties with Baby Keem.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight.
Again, he's firing back.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight. Let's go.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight.
Again, he's firing back
Smoking
at
on
Drake's
that Diddy
now
pack.
overstated top 5 claims.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
And Kendrick would continue on to address Drake's claims about being the GOAT.
I am the Omega. PG Lane Rolling Game SIE. Don't you address me unless it's with 4 letters.
At the end of the track, Baby Keem seemingly reveals that Drake
GOAT. That was crafty.
Has been DMing his girl.
Number 2 DMing my. That's cool, that's why.
However, just a month later, Drake...
Drake and everybody... Yo, you got a problem with Drake, he's in your girl DMs. We were just watching yesterday. I was watching it.
I saw it.
The Rick Ross. Rick Ross unfollowed him the next day. Rick Ross' ex was he sent her 3 tickets to come to the concert. Yeah, females so petty. She taking pictures of her to make Rick Ross jealous and all that. You feel what I'm saying? Yo, these females, man, they play a dirty game. Facts.
It ain't
would
fair.
reply to Kendrick again on his song No Friends in the Industry.
But debating who the GOAT. Then I make the shit about the numbers, all I know.
Drake knows at this point when it comes to selling records, when it comes to breaking records, nobody is standing next to him in hip hop. He simply dominates on a commercial scale. With all that said,
didn't he just tie Michael Jackson or something? He just tied Michael Jackson with number ones or something.
Grammys or number one. I gotta look into it.
Anytime your name is in the same sentence with Michael Jackson,
if it's even in the same sentence, it's ignorant.
You did something.
Said Drake was now celebrating 10 years of Take Care, and he decided to share an old photo of him and Kendrick. And I get it, like, you know, he helped with the project, nice gesture, but why keep doing this? Why keep being friendly to someone who doesn't respect you? However, at this point, 4 years have passed since Kendrick had dropped an album, and while he was on a Milk Box Missing, Drake was still very much active, releasing Certified Lover Boy. That album went on to break Spotify's record for the most streams in a single day, and in that same year, he also had some notable bangers like Wants and Needs with Lil Baby.
Come with a classic, they come around years later and say it's a sleeper.
But finally, after 5 fucking years, we get the Kendrick album.
Rain on me, put the blame on me, got guilt, got hurt, got shame on me.
And sadly, a lot of people did not like this album. I'm not one of them. I absolutely loved it. I'm also a big therapy guy because I'm bipolar. I don't really have any choice but not be a therapy guy, but this project definitely connected with me, at least. And it was on this album.
That's what's up. That was like the album. I understand what you're saying. You either connected with it or you didn't. Yeah. And from what I heard, a lot of people didn't connect with it. I'm talking about the core Kendrick fans. But it was I guess it was like an album that was. It was just for certain people, like, that was going through certain things. And if, like the guy said, I was going through the stuff, so I really connected with it. And sometimes people make an album like that. It's not for my whole fan base. It's just for a certain crowd that I'm going for.
Like, real life, I was listening to this album this morning.
Yeah.
I had no idea we were doing this video.
Yeah.
Like, that's type content.
What's your favorite song off the album?
It's a bunch of them. I like Rich Spirit. That's what I was listening to this morning.
Yeah.
And Cry Together. That one with him and his girl arguing.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking movie.
Yeah.
Like, you can just hear yourself. And then at the end, they, like, still together. It's just passion.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. He's got so many different perspectives on that album.
I'm about to check it out.
Yeah.
Album where Kendrick admitted on a song that he didn't understand why Drake and Kanye squashed their beef.
At Strayer University, we're making higher education
never trust
more
him.
access to up to 10
you stabbed me in the back once, you're gonna do it again.
Yeah, you're gonna do it again. I just can't.
Job doing background checks for a reason. You know what I'm saying? What you did in the past, you probably can do it again.
When Kanye got back with
if you stole out your last job cash register, if I put you in front of this cash register, you're probably gonna do the same thing again.
Yeah, I probably need to put you near the trash can.
Fact.
And not the cash register.
I'm gonna put you on fries.
Yeah.
Facts.
I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do.
And in my opinion, this is just Kendrick's way of telling Drake that he has zero intentions of ever patching things up with him.
Cool.
And there's people that we meet all the time that we just don't like. Like, sometimes it's for no reason at all. And Kendrick's got a reason. Next, Drake gets extra petty by releasing a dance album, Honestly Never Mine, on Kendrick's birthday.
Damn.
If I come around you, can I be myself?
Drake knows
that's why they call Drake King Petty.
Yeah, it's real petty.
He's real petty.
Damn well that Kendrick is the last person that would ever release a project like this one. And what better way of saying, look at how versatile I am, than by dropping a project like this on his birthday. Now, I don't think this little stunt bothered Kendrick at all, but it was still pretty strategic for Drake. But Drake was not done yet. On a track with Lil Uzi, he took some really obvious shots at Kendrick.
Fake woke niggas, fake deep. You ain't no fame before me. Gave your ass a little sneak peek, yeah. Now you gotta take a back seat.
So, just a few months earlier, Kendrick had very similar wording on his N95 track.
Take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care.
Drake is insinuating that Kendrick is more or less running a grift when it comes to what he's saying in his music. He's basically claiming that Kendrick doesn't really stand by or believe what he's preaching, and he also reminds Kendrick that he's the one who put him on. What made this reference even more obvious is the line, "Now you gotta take a back seat," which is clearly a reference to Kendrick's backseat freestyle. And just like me, it looks like Drake...
That song went in, I forgot all that.
Yeah.
All my life, I had money and power.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
And just like me, it looks like Drake really enjoyed Kendrick's new project as he showed up in the audience at Kendrick's show in Toronto. Again, Drake knows what he's doing. He knows the blogs are going to pick this up. The question is, was he there to show love or was he there to play chess? I mean, at this point,
chess, man.
You know Drake plays chess out here. You feel what I'm saying? Definitely, you feel what I'm saying? And it was one of those, yo, if I wanted to, I could touch you. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting touched because I don't want you touched. But if I wanted to, you could be touched right now. And I'm letting you know that.
Yeah, he had knights all around him on the chessboard.
Yeah, facts.
Was he there to show love or was he there to play chess? I mean, at this point, based on the history of Drake's friendliness, I'm just going to chalk it up to him just trying to be cool with them again. And for Kendrick, what better way of taking 5 years away than by dropping an album and cleaning house again at the BET Awards? Going into the awards, Drake was way ahead of everybody with 14 nominations. But it didn't matter because Kendrick mopped the floor with them, winning Best Hip Hop Video, Best Live Performer, Lyricist of the Year, Video Director of the Year, Album of the Year, and Artist of the Year. However, Drake wasn't very impressed with Kendrick's 5-year delay, and he let everyone know about it while on tour.
I don't know about these guys that go away 3, 4, 5 years, want to chill out, all that shit. That's not me.
And I want to ask you guys this. How many times has Kendrick said something nice about Drake in the last decade? Zero. Fucking zero. It's all been Drake. I've got 7 or 8 examples here in this video of Drake complimenting Kendrick, saying that he wants to do music with him, reminiscing on old times, just being friendly with him, and Kendrick has said fucking nothing. That gotta tell you something.
The guy did a good job.
He did.
He did a good job with that.
It came across my feed.
Good to see it edited correctly.
Yeah, what's the dirt?
Bitch, I'm about to blow up.
It's Trey TV.
Say what? Bitch. Lamar Wilson here representing Ghetto Action News Network _ all lowercases.
No spaces.
You'll find us on Facebook, and when you do, follow the page. Like the page, share something, and come back. I'm gonna get right into this. Man, I thought this was a well put together video.
Yeah, it was fire.
It definitely showed the timeline.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was so much great music coming out between the two of these artists.
Yeah.
And he covered damn near a 10-year span, 15-year span.
13.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Since 2011.
And just looking at the time, it was a lot of music that I really was vibing to from both artists. Like I said, I knew some of them was shots, but I didn't know they was just busting off at each other for all this time. Like this ran so deep. And I'm listening to the music, and now it's just I'm gonna go back in the catalogs and listen to it, and like it just hit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild though. But it's crazy because some of them bars was like, this was lines that I was listening for. Yeah. But now it's like, went over my head that time. I didn't know it was intended like that. But it's just interesting to see that there's still information out here to be learned about both of these artists. But after watching this video, I would say it's apparent that there's no love lost, but there ain't no love dead.
Yeah.
What you think?
I think this was a great video to watch, just coming off the reaction we did to the Kendrick Lamar, Metro Boomin, Future, like that, when he was taking shots at Drake and J. Cole, because we backlogged everything over the last 13 years with this video. It pretty much fed us, led us step by step up into that diss. A lot of the stuff I didn't know, a lot of the bars I did hear before. And like you said, I didn't know they was taking shots at each other with these bars. So it's actually nice to know this. I think this guy did a good job putting this together, bringing in receipts, and then just giving you all the information, not just giving you the information, but he gave it to you in an entertaining way, because I was entertained the whole time just watching this. I can't wait to do more stuff like this, but until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.